We're shifting focus to another big story. A political tussle is brewing in France's government between Prime Minister Michel Barnier's the right-leaning cabinet and the left-wing coalition. Reports reveal that the minority government is planning to adopt a controversial measure for the 2025 budget. Barnier's cabinet is considering a measure to pass the budget without putting it to vote in the National Assembly. Government spokesperson has said that the cabinet is mulling over using a so-called Article 49.3, which would avoid a parliament vote in order to get the government's version of the budget passed. Now, the development overlaps with a major blow that left-wing coalition and some centrist allies dealt to the right-leaning government. Just on Tuesday, left-wing and centrist deputies united to make a temporary tax on the rich permanent now, and the government had earlier proposed a special tax on the rich for 3 years. This step was taken to help reduce a deep public deficit, and as per estimates, the deficit could go as high as 6.1% of gross domestic product in 2024. And as per rules of the European Union, it should be a maximum of 3%. The government had previously said that the measure would be exceptional and not a permanent mandate, and as per official estimates, the step to tax the rich would help fill government coffers to mitigate the gaping deficit by raking in over 2 billion euros in 2025. That's next year. Now, correspondent Ross Cullen joins us live from Paris. Ross, good to see you. What is the latest you have for us?
Well, 49.3 is the name given to this special parliamentary tool that can be used to avoid putting legislation to a vote in Parliament. It's controversial, but it is legal, and we have seen it used in recent times. It was used in 2023 to force through President Macron's contentious pension reforms, which raised the retirement age from 62 to 64. It wasn't put to a vote by MPs, but did become law, despite the massive protests that we did see in the spring of 2023. Also, Prime Minister Elizabeth Borne in 2022, she used 49.3 several times to get the budget passed through Parliament, because President Macron's party back then was the largest in Parliament, but well short of a majority. So she had to deploy 49.3 to get the budget passed. And now the latest government, also well short of a majority, is considering whether to use this special tool to get its budget legislation past Parliament. Now, one thing that is going to complicate matters is that this is a coalition government. It's a government that has a minority. It is led by Michel Barnier, whose party came fourth in the elections. So there is already a lot of tension in Parliament that the parties that came first, second and third didn't have their choices for Prime Minister accepted by President Macron. And we have had this vote passed on Tuesday by left-wing lawmakers and the centrists, who usually vote with President Macron's party, usually support the Centre Ensemble party. They actually broke free from working with the coalition government, sided with the left-wing alliance to approve the vote that would bring in this tax levy on the richest people in France. The government wanted to bring it in for 3 years, but this new proposal, voted by MPs, would see that tax imposed indefinitely.
All right, Ross, thank you so much for all those updates from Paris. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.